Hi, my name is Chris Perkins, and I am the Engineer and Environmental Officer for the Community and Economic Development Division of Alabama's Department of Economic and Community Affairs. Using the following slides, I will cover the environmental review basics for ESG projects. Please visit the ADECA Environmental website for detailed instructions on how to conduct an environmental review. My contact information is shown here. Feel free to contact me by email or phone. I will do all that I can to help answer any question that you may have. Things that you need to know in an effort to try and simplify the environmental review process. A handful of the review forms have been updated, so be sure to visit the website and get the latest forms. I have updated the environmental review guide. It now contains links to the related HUD topics, as well as updated documentation guides for the Wild and Scenic Rivers regulations. Instructional videos on how to properly document the regulations are now available on the ADECA Environmental website. A guide for environmental assessment risk factors has been added to the website for you to use when completing a full environmental assessment level of review. The purpose of the environmental review process is to analyze the effect a proposed project will have on the people and the natural environment within the designated project area, and the effect the materials and social environment may have on a project. Grantees who receive ESG funds are considered responsible entities and must complete an environmental review of all projects' activities prior to obligating ESG funds. The laws and regulations that govern the environmental review process, as required by the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969, can be found at 24 CFR Part 58. In addition to those requirements, the regulations at 24 CFR Parts 51 and 55 may be applicable to a project depending on the required level of review. The certifying officer, that would be the chief elected official, assumes the role of the responsible federal official. He or she would represent the responsible entity in court. This authority can be reassigned to someone else provided a delegation of authority form is completed and submitted to ADECA. The certifying officer designates an environmental review officer. This person is responsible for actually conducting the environmental review. He or she may be an employee of the locality or a contracted individual. All proper procurement procedures must be followed in securing this person. The environmental review officer is also responsible for creating the environmental review record. The environmental review record would be your most important tool should you ever find yourself in court. The environmental review officer also ensures that the activities are correctly classified, conducts the actual review, completes any required public notifications, and ensures that all required documentation is submitted correctly. The required level of review is determined by the activities to be undertaken in a project. Those activities can be separated into one of four levels. They are exempt, categorically excluded, environmental assessment, and environmental impact statement. Please see the corresponding codes of federal regulations to determine which level of review your project requires. In order to determine the required level of review properly, you should review the levels of environmental review for ESG components chart that is available on ADECA's ESG website. All the activities that you are proposing to do with ESG funds can be classified as one of the given categories on this chart. When writing your project descriptions, keep the same terminology that is given by HUD. In other words, don't elaborate on the details. Keep to the categories that HUD gives you. You can see the example project description that is available on the website. Once you have matched up your activities, conduct the highest or most stringent required level of review. When it comes to conducting the actual review, the nonprofit organizations have it a little easier than most. You must complete the nonprofit level of review form and a level of review form attachment for all of the recipients. Now, the level of review form is to be completed by the subrecipient. The funding totals reported on this form should be for the entire project. It should also include a complete project description for the subrecipient and all second-tier subrecipients. In other words, an aggregated list of all the proposed activities. This form should be signed by the authorized responsible entity, that would be the CEO, president, or the like, of the subrecipient. On the attachment form, Indicate if this form is for the subrecipient or one of the second-tier subrecipients. The funding amount reported on this form should be for only the one organization and should match what is given on the level of review form. The project description should include only those applicable activities for this organization. In other words, the only activities that should be given are the ones that are selected in the chart on the bottom of the form. The attachment form should be signed by the authorized responsible entity. That's the CEO, president, or the like of the organization it was prepared for. When you have all of the forms back from all the organizations, submit the entire package to ADECA. Once I receive it, I will actually perform your environmental reviews. Upon their completion, I will issue your notices of removal of grant conditions and submit them to Shonda. She will take it from there. For units of local government, you're not that lucky. You are responsible for conducting your own review. The same process that ADECA's CDBG program uses governs your environmental review. Use the Environmental Review Guide and the other information located on the CDBG environmental webpage to complete your review. Once you have successfully completed your review and submitted the correct information, I will issue the notice of removal of grant conditions and submit them to Shonda, at which time she will take over. You can find additional information on conducting environmental reviews at the web addresses shown here. If you have questions concerning anything that was presented, please don't hesitate to contact me at the address provided. Thank you.